guys, Luis here again with Green Zebra Gardening. Now I'm actually going to show you the full setup. I just finished potting up peppers and tomato plants, and so now, as promised, here is the actual setup. It's a kind of a combination of all kinds of things from different places. It's not like all uniform, but there are some of the same things throughout. Yeah, let me show it to you. And yes, everything that I can find online, I will go ahead and link below. Starting with the gardener's lights. This is a full-on kit. This is the, I can't remember if it's the T8s. To the T5s is the T8 bulbs. They have an LED version of it now. This is a full kit. It comes with these trays. It comes in with inserts, so you can actually directly start seeds in here. But I actually really love these trays for stuff like this. The cups themselves are for Bootstrap Farmer. These are the 2 or 2.5 inch cups. There we go, that's how deep. The lights themselves are phenomenal. I've used them for quite a few years now. I actually got them as a set from a friend. Here's a second one of those. These are peppers. Yes, the numbers mean something. That tells me what each thing is. That way I don't have to label each individual cup, because that would just be too much of a pain in the butt. But anyway, so we start off with the timer. Right now it's just set to on so you guys can see it, but it is set to go on at 6 p.m. and it turns off at 6 a.m. The only thing that's plugged into them right now are just the black lights. I don't have these white lights. All I have to do is plug them in and it'll be on the same cycle. These I also just started, as you saw in a video or two ago, depending on how I upload these. I started 2 full trays of tomatoes, 2 10x20s. These are pretty up high, so these are probably 2 to 3 inches. So when those come up, those shouldn't be too much of an issue. And then besides, with tomatoes, you can always bury the stem more, and that way it'll pop out roots on the stem, and that way it'll give you a stronger root system. These lights are from Home Depot. These were $15 each. Back when I bought them, probably last year or the year before. I don't know what they are now, but I will link them below. These are individual. I don't remember if these are LEDs. I don't think so. Not for 15. The trays are just standard 10x20 trays, but these I picked up at Green Coast Hydro in Long Beach. They have multiple locations all throughout the state of California. There's one in LA. There's, I think, one in San Diego. There's the one in Long Beach. There's at least a handful of them. But don't sleep on your hydro shops, because some of them do have these heavy duty trays, because if they're doing hydro, then they need something pretty sturdy for all that water, for all those liquids, you know, with all the nutrients. The rack itself from Home Depot, I don't remember how much I paid for it, 50 or 60 bucks, but it's nothing major. I only set up the 2 middle ones with these lights because the top and the bottom have the full stands and the full kits. If I wanted to, I can probably bring this one, the third one, down some, and then that way it'll give me more room. But overall, I'm very happy. By the time they reach the light anyway, it'll probably be time to put them out and start getting them acclimated to the outdoors. No, I'm not going to leave these lights up that high. I'm probably going to bring them up to like maybe ½ inch to 1 inch above them. That way these don't stretch, because unlike tomatoes, I don't know that these like to be buried all that much. Peppers and eggplants anyway. But that's pretty much it. It is obviously plugged into the wall. There's really nothing spectacular about it, but these are my essentials to get stuff going. This is my basic seed starting setup. It's in the corner of the garage. It has a timer. Obviously, if you get some LEDs, they're gonna be more efficient. What I do like about these, though, is that I am not restricted in using trays that are just 20 feet or 20 inches wide. This is only 2 feet wide, so this is not a standard 4 foot. So if you get the standard 4 foot, you can get standard shop lights for that. Those might be a little cheaper, but because I don't want to take up a ton of space, and honestly, I don't know that I really need that many plants. Honestly, I don't know that I really need all these, but I'm gonna end up selling some of these. I'm gonna end up planting these, probably donating some. I know my sisters, I don't know if they're gonna do a gardens this year, but we'll see. But anyway, I like that I can drop in a 10 by 20 here, and I can fit another 10 by 10, so I can essentially use up all that space. I just like it because it's small. Originally, I had this set up, if you remember, back at my old place, and I had them in a shed, and so that's really honestly why I started with why I went with the 2 foot wide rather than the 4 foot. Not only that, I bought these all at different times, and so I knew that I was going to use these two, this one and the one on the bottom, but I wasn't sure how I was going to do with this, and so then it helped spread out the cost. I don't know that I would do it differently if I had my way. I mean, I guess I could, you know, maybe get a 4 foot now that I have this space here, but I don't know that I would, because again, I would have so many plants, and honestly, it's not even how much width you can get on them, it's how much height, and so that's gonna be the thing. So this is probably gonna be maybe a 10-minute video or less, but that's basically it. If anything, if I need to raise them, I do have zip ties on these. Yeah, if I zip them all the way, then I may have to either flip another tray underneath to get them closer to the light for next year, or I can always just cut off the zip tie and put a new one on. I'm sure there's a more sustainable way of doing it, but you gotta use what you have. So, and up here, I do like that I do have the extra space so I can put in the timer. But that's pretty much it. Yeah, if you guys have any questions on the setup, it's not very complicated, and being in Southern California, we are not going to have them in here all that long. The tomatoes I just seeded today, those will probably be ready to go in like a month and a half. The tomatoes, though, I might take indoors inside the house because I do have heat mats, and so I might do that. I'm not sure yet as to how I'm going to do it. I might leave them out here for a week. Usually tomatoes for me don't take that long. The peppers and the eggplants come up pretty quickly for me as well, but that's because I start those in pea pellets. If you've been keeping up on the videos, I start those in pea pellets and I have those on the heat mat. As soon as those start popping up, I bring them out here and I, you know, label them or whatever just to make sure I know what they are. Although almost everything except for the first like 12, the first 3 rows here going 4 back is 2 different peppers and an eggplant on the end. Everything else is just all the same pepper. It's an ají dulce. The bottom ones have numbers going all the way across. Out of the 11 varieties I seeded rather, in another 10 by 20 tray in pea pellets, this one only had 9 germinate. I had 2 varieties that didn't germinate at all. So, that's where I'm at right now. But, the only thing I didn't seed was green zebra tomatoes. I had so many of them last year. I think I kept 1 or 2 plants for myself. Everything else, I you know, went out the door. But anyway, that's really it. Don't mind the dustiness, but it gets the job done. Alright guys, like I said, I'm gonna go and drop all the links to everything that I can find online, so where to get the products or where I got them. Maybe you can find something that might be local to you, or maybe you can, I'll see if I can find something on Amazon that might be comparable. With lights, I just went with something cheap. It wasn't anything that was ridiculously priced. Although I know if you start searching for grow lights, you know, quote unquote, the prices jump up. Yeah, I know they need the better light spectrum and all that, but you're not gonna need anything that's out of the blue or anything that's ridiculously super powerful. Most lights, unless you get full spectrum and real heavy duty lights, you're not gonna use for more than just a vegetative state just to get them going. Once you want them to fruit and whatnot, you have to do a whole mess of stuff, and so at that point it's already out the door, and either in my garden or somebody else's garden. But that's it. Catch us on the next video. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that bell for the notifications to let you know when the videos are up. Go ahead and leave us a comment if you have any questions, concerns, comments, whatever. Find us over on find me over on Instagram, Green Zebra Gardening. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.